Hey all, welcome back to Building Toronto's Regional Rail. If you're not already, consider following us on our other social media platforms and supporting us on Patreon. In this video, we'll be looking at the works going on at Milliken Station in Toronto's northeast. Milliken's a regional rail station at the moment, which has semi-frequent peak hour services in the peak direction and hourly off-peak service on the GO Stouffville line. Milliken is one stop north of Agincourt on the line. If you're wondering why we have been going station by station along the Stouffville line, that would be because of all the previous single-track, single-platform stations on the future frequent section being upgraded to much more intricate dual-platform stations with further weather protection and better accessibility and access. When done, these improvements should allow very frequent service between Unionville and Kennedy, and all-day bi-directional services along the entire line into Union Station. Worth noting, just like Kennedy and Agincourt, Milliken has TTC bus service due to the way the lines operate, and Milliken's location just south of the Toronto border, the station actually receives significant service with the Kennedy, Midland, and Steeles buses all stopping nearby, not to mention York Transit service, which is also available in a limited sense. Now, while Kennedy has very little development around it, and Agincourt has quite a lot, Milliken is somewhere in the middle. The area around Milliken is dotted with various Asian-themed malls, including plans for a major new one similar to the Aberdeen Centre in Vancouver. While there's a lot of industrial land close to the rail corridor, there are still lots of residents living in lower density housing within walking distance. With further densification and redevelopment, Milliken can be a serious destination for ridership as well as a source. Looking at the work to rebuild the station, much like Agincourt as well as Kennedy, Milliken is going through similar construction phasing, where new platform and track were built and then progressively utilized, while the original platform and track were then rebuilt. Thus, the available infrastructure for service was never substantially reduced for an extended period of time. Now, before we look at the station itself, we need to look at the major component of this project, which is not happening at Kennedy or Agincourt, a brand new grade separation. The grade separation separates the rail line and traffic on Steeles Avenue, as well as providing nice connections to local buses down the line. Very exciting stuff. As you can see, all the work on the excavation is very visible, and even the bridge is now in sight. Walking from the grade separation to the platforms, we see tons of work going on. Across the track, the new canopies and platform are visible. They look great, and unlike at some stations, they span the majority of the platform. Here, you can see the future northbound accessible platform. There's also several Presto readers at each access point. Hard to miss them, which is very good. It's really interesting to see how the scope and presence of the station changes from just the station building to these big canopies. It feels very substantial. The announcements which periodically play are good, though I would like to see announcements of approaching trains. This would be very helpful during single-track operations. Here, you can see the ongoing excavation for the vertical access to the tunnels, which will connect the platforms. It really interests me that GO almost always avoids having people cross the tracks on foot. You can also see the new utilities building, which appears to be mostly complete. I will say these upgrades are something I'm very happy about, but it does feel like maintaining good connections for pedestrians was an afterthought. While parking is as easy as ever to access, people walking need to do some major detours, which isn't great. You can see just as with Agincourt, the new track is used while the temporary platform is sitting on the old track bed. On the whole, it's cool to see this station transformed from a relatively minor station building and barren platform, akin to stations on the Richmond Hill and Milton lines, to what feels like quite the comprehensive transit facility. Stay tuned to the channel for more Building Toronto's Regional Rail, and as always, good night.